Welcome to this explainer. Look, today we're diving into a pretty wild disconnect. Why is it that some people are out there managing literal global empires, while others are sprinting from dawn to dusk, completely exhausted but never actually getting any closer to their goals? Well, the source material we're analyzing today points to one entirely free, everyday mechanism to completely flip that reality. Let's get right into it. Okay, so to really grasp this, we need to look at a brilliant observation from Alibaba founder Jack Ma. He once talked about meeting this incredibly smart, super hardworking person who was pulling 12-hour days every single day. You know the type, right? Always on their laptop, glued to their phone, sprinting between meetings. But here's the kicker. After 5 years of this relentless, nonstop grinding, they had absolutely zero to show for it. No progress, no growth, nothing. Jack Ma summed it up perfectly. He called this guy the busiest failing person he had ever met. So when this person was asked why nothing was actually moving forward, he was genuinely baffled. He was like, I work so hard. I do everything. I'm trying so hard. And the response he got was brutal. But man, was it honest. The problem wasn't a lack of effort. The problem was that he was doing everything instead of doing one thing. Really think about that for a second. We've been completely brainwashed into thinking that doing more automatically equals achieving more. But the science, and honestly the architects of the world's biggest companies, they're telling us the exact opposite. Now, before we reveal the one magic word that actually fixes this whole mess, we absolutely have to look at this mind-blowing piece of research from Stanford University. They uncovered a terrifying metric about human focus. They found that it takes exactly 23 minutes for your brain to fully refocus after switching tasks. 23. Just let that number sink in. Every single time you break your attention, that is the literal tax you are paying. And the data behind these common distractions perfectly illustrates that invisible drain on your day. Picture this. You're writing a proposal and ping, a WhatsApp notification pops up. You glance at it, you go back to writing, bam, minus 23 minutes of peak cognitive focus. An email arrives, there goes another 23 minutes. A friend sends you a 40-second cat meme, you chuckle, you go back to work. You literally just paid 23 minutes of your brain's absolute best focus for a picture of a cat making a funny face. Like Jack Ma noted, that is a very expensive cat and a terrible investment. If you switch tasks just 10 or 20 times a day, you are hemorrhaging hours of focused brain power. It's wild. So the scientific conclusion here is definitely harsh, but honestly, I think it's incredibly liberating. You aren't sailing because you're lazy. Not at all. You're struggling because no one ever actually taught you how to stop paying this massive refocusing tax. The Stanford researchers effectively concluded that if you don't stop checking your phone every 5 minutes, you will simply never finish anything in your life. Period. It's a biological limitation of the human brain. It is not a flaw in your character. Now, consider the sheer contrast between how the ultra-successful operate and how, well, the rest of us do. Take Elon Musk. The guy runs multiple massive companies like Tesla and SpaceX. You'd naturally assume he's the ultimate superhuman multitasker, right? Nope, wrong. He uses time blocking. He works on one company at a time. He focuses on sending one rocket to space without simultaneously checking Twitter and ordering a sandwich on his phone. Meanwhile, the average worker sits down to write one basic email, but somehow has 7 browser tabs open, is texting 2 different group chats, has YouTube playing in the background, and is endlessly scrolling TikTok. The difference in output isn't about raw intelligence, guys. It's entirely about managing focus. Which brings us to the absolute secret weapon that makes all the difference. And spoiler alert, it isn't some crazy 17-step productivity system, and it definitely isn't a paid app. It is simply single tasking. It's the hardcore discipline of giving your complete, undivided attention to one single thing until it is 100% done, and only then moving to the next. No switching, no dividing, just one task at a time. I know it sounds almost too simple, right? But as the research clearly shows, simplicity is exactly what your brain actually needs to succeed. Going back to Jack Ma, he used this exact philosophy while building Alibaba into a total global juggernaut. There were days when he had 50 massive company-ending problems hit him all at once. Investors backing out, top engineers quitting, competitors relentlessly attacking. When people asked him how on earth he handled everything at once, his answer was profound. He said, I didn't. He took the absolute most important problem, gave it everything he had, solved it, and then moved to the next. He never handled 50 problems at once. He handled one problem 50 times. That right there is the pure essence of single tasking. But here's the absolute crucial point we have to keep in mind. We've got to turn this free, immediately available skill into a daily reality, rather than just treating it as entertaining information. You know the science behind it now? Sure. But just knowing it doesn't change a thing. We have to put it into action. Knowledge without action is basically just entertainment. And the best part about all this? It requires zero downloads, zero subscriptions, and zero special qualifications. So let's see how this actually builds into a highly actionable 3-step focus plan that you can literally start using tonight to completely reclaim your productivity. This is exactly how we take that high-level philosophy of single tasking and essentially force it into our daily routines. Okay, step 1. Tonight, right before you go to sleep, grab a physical piece of paper and write down just one sentence describing the single most important thing you must finish tomorrow. Just one thing, not 5, not 10. That little piece of paper becomes your today's boss. By making this decision tonight, you guarantee that tomorrow morning you don't wake up and immediately let notifications, group chats, and random emails dictate your priorities. You are taking control before the day even begins. Moving on to step 2, and this one is absolutely critical because of the incredibly sneaky way technology hijacks our brains. Get this, research shows that a phone just sitting next to you, even if it's switched off, face down, and totally silent, actually reduces your cognitive capacity and thinking ability by a massive 10%, just by existing near you. Crazy, right? Honestly, your smartphone is arguably the most passive-aggressive object ever created. It just sits there doing absolutely nothing, yet it costs you everything. Your brain is subconsciously expending precious energy, actively trying to ignore it, which is exactly why step 2 is that you must place your phone exactly 20 steps across the room when you sit down to do deep work. Moving it 2 centimeters away on your desk does not count. It has to be across the room so you can reclaim that lost 10% of your brain power. And that brings us to step 3. Give yourself one completely protected hour every single day for that one task you wrote down the night before. No exceptions, no switching tabs, absolutely no checking messages. Because here is the raw reality. One deeply focused, pure hour of attention completely destroys an entire fake day of distracted, split-focus work. Once that 1 hour is done, go crazy. Check Instagram, watch your favorite shows, do whatever you want, because you've actually earned your rest rather than just hiding inside of it. You know, you probably have a project, a startup idea, or some new skill you dream about when things are quiet. And the data shows you really don't need a perfectly optimized plan or some sudden magical burst of motivation to build it. You literally just need to stop splitting your brain between 10 different things. Because while your dreams might be super patient and wait around for you to finally get organized, time definitely is not. Time does not wait for anyone. Just think about Jack Ma's origin story for a second. The guy failed university twice. He was rejected from basic jobs 30 times. He wasn't the smartest person in the room by a long shot. But as he notes, when he decided something mattered, he gave it everything, not just the leftover fraction of his attention after an hour of scrolling social media. Bringing your entire undivided focus to a problem, even if you failed 30 times before, is literally enough to build an empire that changes millions of lives. Your everything is absolutely enough. You just have to stop dividing it into tiny pieces. So here is your challenge based on everything we've unpacked today. I want you to try this exact homework for just 7 days. Tonight, write down your one sentence. Tomorrow morning, physically put that phone across the room and give that one single thing 1 hour of pure, unadulterated focus. Do this for just 1 week, and you honestly probably won't even recognize how much incredible progress you've made. It fundamentally shifts how you operate as a human being. I want to leave you with this provocative thought to really kickstart your progress tonight. Right now, as this explainer ends, ask yourself, what is the absolute most important one thing you will do tomorrow? Seriously, identify it right now, write it down, put the phone away, and start exactly there. Because the beautiful day you've been waiting for, it actually arrives the exact moment you finish just one thing. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next one.